So we're gonna start. Again, it's just you three. If you have any questions right now, we can go over it before the rest of the class gets here. But if not, then we can continue with from yesterday's lesson. Let's do this. All right. All right. So let me start recording here. We'll do this and share computer sound. All right. So today's lesson, we're going to continue from what we did yesterday. Just move this here, and I just need to get chat. All right. So from yesterday's lesson, we talked about, actually, before we start that, let's create a CSS page. And here we are going to create a new file. This thing. We're gonna save this as files.css, and then href. Okay, so we got our got more people coming in. Okay, so we're continuing from yesterday's lesson. Right now we just created a CSS page, or our styles.css page. We linked it to our index.html page. Now we're going to be, so yesterday we talked about transformations. We're gonna do, and when we did it, we only did like 2D transformations. So we made it like rotate left, rotate right, and just moved it around the page. But now we're gonna do 3D transformations. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make it so that it rotates on the x-axis, right? So first thing we're going to do is let's create let's create a header 1, and we're gonna do this rotate X. Alright. Transformation. Alright, so rotate X transformation. If we run this, we're obviously gonna get a page. We're gonna get a web page that pops up that says rotate X transformation. Alright. Now in this one, it's going to basically rotate the whatever tag we're dealing with on the x-axis. All right, so let's create a div tag. Let's create a div tag. At this div tag, we're going to say this is a normal div tag, or div element, I should say, element. All right. And then we're gonna have another div element. This one, this is rotate X element. Right, so we're gonna have two, and we're gonna give this. So we talked about IDs and classes. We're gonna give this an ID, just so that we can specify that this one is what we want to name it, and we're gonna name it new div. Okay. So in the CSS page, we are going to add. We're gonna design the div. So the div tags. Let me skip this. So the div tag, we're gonna give it a width of 300 pixels. Then we're gonna give it a height of 100 pixels. Right, and we're going to give it background dash color red. Alright, we're gonna give it a red background, and we're gonna give it a border. 1 pixel solid black. Right. So we have two div elements right here. Actually, let's add a break here so it's easy for us to see. Right, so we have two elements. We have we have two div tags. One of them, this one has the ID, this one doesn't have an ID, but it's the exact same thing. We haven't changed anything. We just gave it a border, and we gave it a background color. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna change this div element to flip on the x-axis. So to do that, we're gonna call our ID. We don't want to change anything. We just want to change that one particular one, and to do that, we do the ID. We do hashtag new div. Then in the new div, we're going to do transform. So what we learned yesterday, transform, and we're gonna give it the rotate X. Get rid of the rotate X element. Alright, so we give it the rotate X element, so we use a transform, which is what we learned yesterday. And then we're gonna do rotate X. And the rotate X, we are going to give it the degrees, so whatever we want. So let's do 100, and let's do 150. 150 degrees. Right, so if we go back to our code, notice how the thing gets flipped like 150 on the x-axis. If we do 180, I think it does full rotation. So now it's like completely inverted on the x-axis. Alright. So that's the rotation, that's the rotate X. Obviously we could do rotate Y. We could do rotate Y if we want to. If we change this one to Y, exact same thing. But instead of the X, we'll just name this thing. Then this will be Y as well, and so then now it's flipped on the Y-axis. So if you picture actually I'll do this. If you picture this like a line straight down the middle and a line straight across, it just gets flipped complete. If you change this to like, 80. Oh shoot! I just opened up soon. That's not what I wanted. Then you notice how it's slowly transitioning to get flipped. It's slowly transitioning to get flipped. So if we change this to like 20, we'll save that. It's slowly getting compressed. If you change this to 45, I think 45. I think 45. It's still getting flipped. 90 degrees you shouldn't see anything just because it's right. You're basically looking at it from the side right now. The line's like right here. And then when you start moving away from 90 degrees, like if you go 91, you should slowly start seeing it move invert. And then 180 obviously is a full flip. All right, you could also mix it up. So let's do this one with transform X. Let's do 100 degrees. So it's just basically rotating at this point. Oh, whoops, not Z. I meant X. There you go. There. So it's inverted, but it's also like getting flipped on the X-axis. All right. We do